Number two, the classic man. What is a classic man? Think a James Bond character. Think a Kingsman agent, right? As a classic man, you have a very high sense of honor. You have a very high sense of duty, morality, traditions, chivalry. The problem with the classic man when it comes to dating is you don't find enough women who are actually worth that part of you, and so 9 times out of 10 it's repressed. You have no problem getting a girl flowers. You have no problem paying for dates first. You have no problem, leading financially, leading morally, leading spiritually. You don't have a problem doing those things. You don't find enough women who are compatible with that. The plight of the classic man is you want to do certain things, but you also understand that if you do certain things for undeserving women, you're going to be called a simp. That's the difference between a classic man and a simp. A simp does all these, things for women just because she's a girl. Classic men only do certain things for women who are adding value in his life. And you're hard pressed in a society such as ours because we're no longer in a traditional society. We're no longer in a chivalrous society. And so, back during the days of chivalry and courtship, men had no problem pulling up to a random girl and saying, hey, I saw you from way across the whatever. Would you like to, join me this evening for dinner or whatever? Back in those days, you were assured a certain level of value with the woman that you're engaging with because society was governed by tradition. Society was governed by honor. The expectation at that time was that she was a virtuous woman, that she was an honorable woman. So you knew what you were going to get 9 times out of 10 when you approach just any random woman out of the population. Nowadays, you don't know what you're going to get. You can't just go to some random girl that you see out on the street and say, hey, you caught my eye, you caught my interest, join me this day or whatever for dinner or whatever. You can't do that. The thing about the classic man is most women want a classic man. Unfortunately, in this society, the only time the average woman wants a man like that is when she's at her worst, when she's already given the best of her years to other men. Then she wants that kind of gentleman type. Then she kind of wants that guy who's a little bit more stable, who's a little bit more level-headed. And so again, it goes back to the point of your biggest struggle as a classic man is understanding that most women don't deserve one, and you tend to go for quality versus quantity. Roguish men tend to lean more to the quantity side. He's more interested in, just kind of girl after girl after girl. Classic men, you have no problem focusing on one girl if she's worth that. You have no issue working on one girl at a time and watering that one flower to make sure it flourishes. If you're a classic man, just understand that at some point women are generally going to start to come after you, especially when they're a little bit older. Just make sure that she has lived a life to where she's deserving of that lifestyle, that she's deserving of that level of stability and level-headedness. It is your job to vet her past.